The I'm literally a communist Ash Sarkar appeared on the BBC once again, as usual, as a regular guest, because that's the BBC is the home of Ash Sarkar and luxury communism, as she would call it. And this time to spread more dangerous narrative and nonsensical arguments about her communist dystopia. This time she was defending, wait for it, criminals. Yes. Yeah, literally, because the rule of law doesn't really matter. You have to bring down the whole system if you want to get to her luxury communist dystopia. And it's quite interesting that these people, they have this really, really extreme narrative, and then they pretend to be the civilized ones. In civilized society, the rule of law matters. But she goes on TV and radio and she tries to be, I'm the sensible one. I'm just very passionate. I'm just young and passionate. Look at me. Oh, yeah, I'm so cool. But at the same time, she's saying that those who go to shops and steal things, she says essential items. So I'm guessing bread and milk and, I don't know, hand sanitizer and Lural. What's essential these days in the eyes of the luxury communists? I'm not really sure. Probably still some face masks. That's essential, I guess. But she came, and then on BBC Radio 2, and then she doubled down on Twitter. Look at this. She said, "Me, you shouldn't report someone for shoplifting essentials like food or nappies." Okay, at least she clarified nappies, maybe face nappies too. "And the greater injustice is a system which criminalizes the poor and protects the wealth of the rich." What? There's not Cuba or China or India. Those are the places that they protect the top, and then everybody else will just live on your own and just try not to die. You do realize that we have moved on from the 19th century, 18th, 19th century. The system is not perfect, but it's no longer that the right-wing anarchy that she thinks is really dangerous, capitalist anarchy. But she wants a communist anarchy, which is kind of ironic. But yeah, still, I always say the left-wing libertarianism is an oxymoron. It doesn't exist. Stop trying to make it a thing. It's really fascinating that people like her, with these weird but very radical ideas, keep going on mainstream media. So, there's this Twitter account, if you're not following it. Ash Sarkar is on the BBC again every time regularly. She appears. That Twitter account follows it. It's quite funny. But when they go on TV or radio, they are labeled as, oh, well, it's just a political commentator or political activist, and they don't really give you a heads up warning. There should come with some sort of like 18 plus labels every time they go on TV, because the narrative is so dangerous. And it's the reason that millions and millions of people on this planet lost their lives in the 20th century because of these people, dangerous people, yet they are being normalized. You do realize, and let's talk about that shop, stealing essential items. You do realize that we're not just talking about, I don't know, Waitrose or M&S. We're talking about a small family, a local family, having a tiny shop in a town or wherever, in a neighborhood. And because of your big government structure that you guys actually want to make even bigger, because of that, at the end of the day, when they pay the rent and the taxes and the business rates and all the costs, the employees and everything else, and the stock refilling, then there won't be much actual profit in terms of like salary or dividends for the actual family. That shop is already struggling. If you really care about people who are struggling, working people who are struggling, then why not care about them? Because if a shoplifter comes to that shop and starts taking things for free, that family also matters. Not every shop is supposed to be some sort of big corporation. So in that case, which side are you going to be on? The working family or the person who's not working and is just stealing stuff from that shop? The family that's struggling to keep the shop. It's a weird world that we live in, and they don't even think before they talk. It's the same Ash Sarkar that did an interview in The Guardian after her infamous appearance on Good Morning Britain on ITV with Piers Morgan. That was the episode where she shouted, "I am literally a communist," proudly. Yeah. Imagine someone proudly comes and shouts on TV that I'm a defender of the 1930s Germany. That would be complete outrage. It would be complete outrage. But clearly it's fine to support Lenin and Mao and all these idiots who caused misery in this world. One of the questions was, did Piers Morgan boost your cause by, essentially having a kind of debate with you about your communism. She says he accidentally rehabilitated communism. What, really? So wait, do we have to blame Piers Morgan now for for the fact that communism is back at this point? But then nobody cares. Nobody listens to you guys. Nobody actually. This is such a urban metropolitan, pseudo-intellectual leftism that nobody actually cares. You pretend to be on the side of the struggling working class. Really? Luxury communism. Is that supposed to be pro-working class? No. These are the people who end up creating even a bigger government than the so-called conservative Tory government. That's also massively flawed. The whole system is completely flawed, and these idiots don't really have an answer. We're going to come back with more news updates for you guys. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Maya TC, and we are the media.